This is the Frugal Gardener, and I am super excited today because today is move-in day for my first ever full-size greenhouse. I've had greenhouses before, but they were mini greenhouses. This greenhouse is full-size. It's 7 feet tall, 7 feet wide, and 15 feet long. So I've basically going to follow the same blueprint that I did on the other ones, except for this is more like supersized. The first thing that you have to do, the first thing that I'm going to do is protect this ground. People often, they don't think when you put up a greenhouse that they figure you have a covering over top, but they don't think about all the cold air that comes up from the ground. This is super important. This is plastic. This is not the greenhouse plastic that I used to buy in the past with the UV and, you know, the whole business of letting the sun in and keeping the, you know, the UV rays and so forth from penetrating. This is to serve one purpose only. This is to protect this soil. If you guys know any campers, anybody, especially campers that camp out in the wintertime, they will tell you, do not sleep on the ground. I mean, it could end up very bad for you, and it could be very serious because that cold air seeps up from the ground. Last winter, we had almost a 2-week period, matter of fact, 2 winters in a row, where the temperatures dropped in the single digits at night, didn't go above the 20s during the day, and a couple of nights went to -1 and 2 below zero. This is 6-ply, the 6 mil, I should say. This is the thickness of the plastic. I would suggest that you don't go with the really thin plastic. So I'm going to put this down first, and I'm going to put something on top of that, and we'll go from there. We're gonna semi-furnish this today, and you'll see what it looks like very soon. I'm not going to tell you what else I'm going to put on this surface. The thing is, you don't want to super seal this. You don't want this completely enclosed, and you want it to breathe. You want to mimic the outdoors, and if you seal this up, that's the reason why you have these windows on both sides. If you seal this completely, it's not going to be able to breathe, and you could risk mold, mildew. You could end up with respiratory problems and all kinds of things that you really don't want to deal with. So let's start with getting this plastic down. Okay, so the plastic is in. That didn't take long. And I told you you can determine the thickness of the plastic, but I guess it goes without saying, you can also buy this in different lengths and in different widths. This is a little over, so I just folded it under. There's more that's going to go in here. And now it's time for some furniture. Now it's time for me to move in. I spent a lot of time working out a design on this. It definitely will change, but right now I'm just focusing on getting everything in so I can get things set up and put this to use. So I'm going to start adding a few things. So this is a work in progress. This there's a story behind this. This is repurposed. This was I guess you can call this the top portion here a pallet. We got a dresser that came on top of this when it was delivered. At the time, I didn't know what I was going to use this for. I just knew I didn't want to throw it away. And so it has been repurposed, upcycled, I guess. And you can see that legs have been added onto it and converted into a table. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get much use out of it the way it is. So I'm going to fill this in with planks, and then I'll be able to put pots and starters and small plants on here so that they'll be up off the ground and easy for me, because like I said before, you know, this is gardening over 40, and I am big on not having to do a lot of bending. So this is going to be perfect. You have to use your imagination a little bit, because I have to put the top on here, and I'm going to paint this. So that's probably going to stay there for a while. Again, you know, I may move things around later on. And on this side over here, you'll recognize my trusty crates. They didn't do well this summer in the garden, but this is a 10-foot piece of wood. Do yourself a favor. Instead of trying to get this home or buy 2 5-foot pieces, which will cost you more money, I went to Home Depot. I guess you can go to Lowe's or any store that sells lumber, and have them cut it in half, which is what I did here. So the length is 10 feet. As I said, this is 15 feet. And so it's 15 or 16. I think it's 15 feet. At any rate, you can see how this is going to go. Basically, the plants that I want to protect from the cold are going to go in here. I can put larger, heavier plants on here. This wood is 12 inches wide, so it's a foot wide and 10 feet long. So that's going to go there. Now, I want this to also be a lounge area. I named this the Homestead Hideaway Hangout. So yes, I'm going to be spending time in here, and some days quite a bit of time in here. So I want to put a couple of seats over here. I want to put something here where I can maybe, you know, have a cup of coffee or something in the corner here. So I'm working on that also. Again, this is not the finished product, so I'm going to bring that in and let you see how that looks before I move on to showing you how I'm going to insulate and heat this bad boy. So as you may have guessed, there's a story behind this also. Good friend of mine, Pat, there's a mosquito in here. A good friend of mine, Pat, she knows I like to repurpose, reuse, upscale things. So she gave me these old, I think they're from Pepsi. These are old carts that hold, I guess, 2-liter bottles of soda. And wasn't quite sure what to do with them at first. But like most things around here, I don't throw them away. I held on to them, and this looks confusing right now. I mean, I guess you can tell it's a stand, but it's not usable. It's in the same sort of situation as what you have over here when the sun's coming out. That's good. So basically, the only thing I purchased were these 4 legs. This wood was left over. Everything else, like I said, this was the carts were given to me. So with the wood added, it stabilized it. And what I'll do, these are scraps. I'll add more to this. And once I get this covered, then I'll put a main cover over it. And then I'll put a tablecloth or something over top of it. And this will be like my little, you know, beverage corner, you know, for hot drinks in the winter and cool drinks in the spring. It's a little higher than what I wanted it to be, but these table legs were pre-measured, and I decided not to cut them because then I could make it lopsided. So these are to stabilize it. One more will go in the back, which will make it even stronger, he said. So this is going to be kind of the lounge area. This chair needs to be cleaned up and painted. I have another one. So I'll have a chair here. I'll have a chair here. I'll probably move this one over closer. And so that's how this is looking so far. You guys have seen my workbench. It's seen better days. And I'm not bringing that in now because that needs to be tightened up and refurbished. That's going to go here. So workstation, this area here is going to be for my starters and for small pots, like I said. This is going to be kind of the hangout area. This is going to be where a lot of the pots and stuff, like I said earlier, are going to go. Now, a couple of things in between are going to go on the ground. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to put anything on the ground. Everything that goes on the ground is going to be temporary. I'm going to put pots under here, over here, up beside this door here, and whatever space is available after I put my workstation in here. And even some pots are going to go under here. Any elevation you have is going to be helpful. Any elevation, even if it's just 6 inches. I did a video a couple of years ago on this. The higher your stuff is off the ground when it gets cold, the better chance you have of survival. Now, this looks kind of like a crime scene right now. So this is by no means finished. This is, I would say probably a third of the way completed. Pretty much everything you see here is going to be painted. And then I'm going to put another cover in here. And I have a few more things to add. And as I go along in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to finish this out. I need to add in some lights. But there are 2 crucial components that I haven't shown you guys yet, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, there's a couple of things that you need to make this functional. And one of the things, obviously, it's wintertime and you're going to need heat. Like I said, the way this is set up, you're going to have air coming in. You're going to have cold air coming in. And for the most part, I won't need to do anything to supplement the heat. But, excuse me, I do have these windows for ventilation, 3 on each side. And this heater here is, I've used this a couple times. I haven't used it that much. And one of the things I like about this is that it has a safety feature. This tips over. I think it shows you here. This will cut off. This is the actual heater. I mean, orange is my favorite color, so hey, what's not to like? But to my point, this is the safety feature. This little button here, if there's no pressure on this, if this falls over or gets knocked over, or if an animal gets in here, then this will cut off. Now, to be clear, I've watched many videos and I've done a lot of reading up on this. People have put energy, electric, into their greenhouse. Some people even use candles. Why is beyond me. But at any rate, they leave the stuff all night and things go wrong. Next thing you know it, there's a fire. I mean, I'm not even going to go there. The fact of the matter is, if I have to put something in here at night, it's not going to be electric. It's not going to be something that can start a fire and burn this whole thing down and possibly my house with it. So, this might seem like a contradiction because over here is my fan. This is not a very big fan. In fact, it's called the mini fan. I had this around the house for years. I never really used it until now. And it's working. And it's working off of free energy because I have it hooked up to this solar panel, this mini solar panel, mini fan, mini solar panel. This is actually going to go under the greenhouse And out here, well, except for when the weather is like really bad, like snow or something. Now, what this is going to do is help with the air circulation. This is the thing I talked about earlier. You're trying to mimic Mother Nature. You're trying to mimic being outside. A lot of plants, the leaves, they like the movement. And if you have a lot of stagnant air in here, it's not going to be helpful to the plants. So, like a day like today, I can feel it getting warm in here already. You can see where the sun's coming through. You have the heat, you have the light, but you don't have the wind. You don't have the breeze. You don't have the movement. So that's what this is for. And it's not going to cost me a dime. So this is another one. This is 3 panels. This is kind of the backup to that one. And I'm going to probably keep this out here also. You can use this to charge your laptop, your phone, your tablet. And if I'm going to be out here for any length of time, this is going to help me. And I'll probably have this set up somewhere around here. Remember, I'm going to have something under here, and I'm going to have things over here. So I won't have a problem finding a place to put this. So there's 2 of your additions that's going to help this thing function properly. I mentioned lights also. These are probably not the lights you thought I was talking about. I don't plan on being out here at night. So if it's early in the morning, or if it's cloudy, or early in the evening, and I'm out here, this will be sufficient. This is enough light for me to see what I want to do out here. I mean, you can see how much light is in here already, and I plan on adding these lights to add a little sparkle, a little class to this place. I see these, they're the bones here. So my thought process is to put these lights somewhere around here, make it look pretty. And they went off with very little electric. I have other solar that I could bring out here and run these for free. One of the things I made sure I did was to put this close to the house so that I would be able to run power in here, because this is going to need power. And if I bring in something that's going to be a little stronger, I'm definitely going to need some power to run this with. So yeah, that's all I'm going to show you guys for now. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, all this has to be painted and spruced up. I'm going to bring in a second chair in case I have company, and I am going to add another treatment to this floor, something other than this plastic. You can kind of tell that it's already, you can see the moisture building underneath, which is a good thing. And then the good stuff. Then I'll start bringing in the plants. I'll start bringing in the trays and things that I want to grow for the winter. And I guess you can call that part 2. So this is part 1. And I'll catch you guys in a couple days for part 2. So before I go, I just wanted to remind you guys to subscribe and post your comments below. Things are moving pretty fast. I'm going to give you a quick preview of what's coming up in a few days, because things are already changing around here. And this is an example of how fast things are moving. Catch you guys on the next video. Catch you on the flip side. Have a great day.